again, everyone, and welcome back to my YouTube channel, Fillers and Filters. Again, I'm Noella, or you can call me Miss Noe, and I'll be your virtual teacher, your buddy, your friend, your partner in your language learning journey. So every week, I try to upload at least one video where I share with you some tips as well as tricks on how you can improve your linguistic skills. And sometimes I choose to just sit back and relax and have a little cup of coffee, just like right now, okay? And just share with you some stories, interesting stories and anecdotes relevant to learning the English language. So I've decided to come up with a Coffee Talk series where I just share some stories, and this is actually the first episode of the Coffee Talk series. So in this episode, I wanted to share with you the reason why I chose my channel name. While I was talking to a good friend, she actually expressed her intrigue over my choice of channel name, and somehow I understand the curiosity and the confusion because my channel name or these terms that I've chosen are not really straightforward. They are not really self-explanatory. So why fillers and filters? First, I chose those terms because, well, they are connected to language learning. And more importantly, I chose them because fillers and filters pretty much sum up my language learning journey. You would note that in most of my videos, I refer to language learning as a journey. Why is that? Because I believe, based on my experience as a learner and as a teacher, I believe that language learning is a process. It does not really happen overnight. You cannot really expect that you will be improving drastically over a short period of time. As such, definitely it would take a lot of time. You'll have to invest a lot of time and effort for you to really improve. Fillers, by the way, are expressions or words that we use when we find it hard to express ourselves. So say for instance, Filipinos are fond of using and when they cannot think of the next word to say, or perhaps they are having a hard time getting their ideas together. So they would use that. Personally, I would use the word and so if I'm still in the process of organizing my thoughts. So my language learning has been full of fillers. It's full of mistakes and hesitations and flaws and imperfections. So actually, you'll realize that you're not alone. So if you're in a stage in your language learning where you're having a hard time, that's actually part of the process. You just need to be consistent. You just need to put in more time, put in more effort, and eventually you'll realize that you've come a long way, that you've become much better than what you used to be. I have already discussed in my previous videos that mistakes are part of the process. So if we really wanted to improve, definitely we have to be ready to get corrected, to get criticized. And so I chose the word filters because I had to let go of my filters. I had to overcome myself. In language learning, filters or effective filters would refer to factors that affect your learning progress. So that in my previous video, I have discussed this in detail, and somehow I have highlighted that your attitude would dictate how much progress you're going to make. If you're open-minded, you're open for corrections, and you're humble enough to accept them and work on your skills, then you're more likely to get better at your skills. Of course, you also should be forgiving of yourself, knowing that you can never be perfect. I will never be perfect. I'm not perfect. You're not perfect. I will never be. You will never be. But definitely, we can still be excellent. We can still have excellent linguistic skills. One of The stories that I love sharing to my students about language learning, this is actually a personal experience that happened when I was in college. So I went to a premier state university in the Philippines, and yeah, it's quite a big step for me from high school because I am from the province. I am from a relatively small school in the province where I basically have the spotlight. I'm the brightest, I'm the star. So you can just imagine I was thrown in a very big university where a lot of my classmates are also brilliant. So in one of my major classes, so I'm an English major, in one of my major classes, I volunteered to recite on the first day of class, and I remember my teacher correcting me in one of the words, I guess, that I mispronounced. And I cannot remember clearly, but I felt like the whole class laughed at me, or at least that's how it felt. And from then on, I never dared to recite in any of my classes unless the teacher calls on me, or unless it's a class reporting where, you're required to talk in front of the class. So whenever I would prepare for reports, I would usually have a very detailed script, and I would really rehearse everything that I'm going to say because I was so afraid of committing mistakes. Looking back, I felt like I have shortchanged myself because of that kind of attitude, that fear of making mistakes, that fear of getting corrected, that fear of being humiliated in front of a lot of people. I felt like if I had been more humble, if I had been more open-minded, I feel that I could have performed better. I wouldn't have missed a lot of learning opportunities if I had been more open to change, more open to corrections, if I had been a risk taker. Before, I would usually consider that as a traumatic experience, but actually it would not have been a traumatic experience if I did not consider getting corrected in class as a major issue. And actually, I felt like I have deprived myself of a lot of learning opportunities because of my fear of getting judged or criticized. It actually took me a lot of time to rebuild my confidence, and it all started with the acceptance that I am prone to committing mistakes, that I can never be perfect, that I cannot please everyone. And up until now, I still struggle with putting myself out there, open for criticisms and open for corrections. In fact, this vlog had been years in the making. A lot of people have been convincing me to start my vlog so that I can use my skills to help out other people. When I left the state university where I have taught for 10 years in 2018, I felt like I have lost the only venue where I can help students, in ways that I can. So it took me a lot of courage and guts to start out this channel because I know that I cannot please everyone. But I guess that's just how life is. What are the challenges that you've encountered so far in your language learning? Perhaps you can share them on the comment section below. And of course, you can also share how you were able to overcome them. Who knows, you'll be able to inspire other struggling language learners. I hope you have enjoyed our coffee talk today. Thanks again for watching. Au revoir!